welcome to Synthetic Oil Protection. I'm your host Eben, and we're back with Diesel Steve, and this is his beautiful 2004, and this is the Ford F250 Super Duty, and of course, it's the Powerstroke 6.0 liter. Let's kick it off. We're going to do an engine flush, motor oil change with AMSOIL. Steve has become an AMSOIL dealer. All right, let's do it. If you're new to my channel, definitely consider subscribing. You can tap the little red icon in the corner. That way you can come back and watch this important information for your vehicle later. Now we're going to go ahead and throw in our flush. Steve's going to start with the first bottle, and we're actually going to do 2 bottles of flush because, believe it or not, this crankcase holds 15 quarts. You can see this really thin detergent go in, and what it does is it actually loosens up sticky rings. It helps clean oil cooler ports, and you can start working on the second bottle. And then here's this, and this is everything it does. You'll see it quiets lifters, gets all kinds of varnish out of your crankcase, and over the course of the years, like a truck like this, it probably sat at one time or another. I'm assuming it sat maybe for 9 months without being driven, because it's only got like 60,000 miles on it, 2004. So Steve got basically like a brand new truck, and well, he just wants to make sure it's all cleaned out before we put the new 100% synthetic motor oil in. All right, so Diesel Steve's gonna go ahead and start this little angel up. We're gonna let her idle for 15 minutes, and in that amount of time, it's gonna get all those carbon deposits out from around the rings. Good to go, Steve. All right. We're gonna do a little improvement. We're gonna listen to it before and after. So here it is. So while we have her idling for 15 minutes, the flush is circulating, thinning out the oil. Steve is putting in the additive, and you say, well, you wonder what this additive is. It's a 3-component additive. It lubricates, so it lubricates the injectors. It also cleans the injectors, cleans carbon deposits out of the combustion chamber, so it gets your compression back to OEM. You have a smoother idle, and you'll also clean the valves. So it cleans the valves, you'll have better compression, less blow by. And of course, the third thing that's really great is the cetane boost. And cetane actually increases the horsepower, and amazing what it can do. So there's the bottle, diesel injector clean plus cetane boost. Here's the additive amounts, and then you get up to 8% better gas mileage and just one treatment. And well, we'll be back to drain her down in a second. All right, Steve's gonna crack the filter, so share us with the importance of cracking it, Steve.
So this has a canister oil filter. There's a little valve at the bottom of the canister.
All right.
And what makes this important to do first is that little valve is shut with the oil filter in there. So you wanna pull the cap off and pull the oil filter out, which will allow that valve at the bottom of the canister to come open. And what oil is inside this canister then will drain to the oil pan. So you're not down there draining your oil right now, and then you change the oil filter out, and then you've drained old oil back into your oil pan. So pop it first and then drain your oil.
Let's do it. Cool. Little hot, huh?
Little hot.
So Diesel Steve went and cracked her loose. So we're underneath this little angel. Got her all cracked loose, and it was just what, a 3/4, Steve?
Yeah, 3/4
just
socket.
Just a 3/4 socket. And now we're just gonna go ahead and drain her down. Just gonna go ahead and push this huge, the little oil bin down. He's just getting rid of the net. That net is so people don't fall in the pit here. And we're good to go. He's going completely bare. No rubbers. He's got a lot of guts. But Steve's got years of experience. Woo! What a rush.
Look at that fall out.
What a rush. So you're looking at 15 quarts shooting out solid, just coming out like water.
That is coming out pretty quick.
So that was 2 bottles of flush.
Yep.
And that was the first time we ever did 2 bottles of flush in the channel. And I actually called AMSOIL technical support. And on a 18-wheeler, they recommend 6 bottles of flush on 10 gallons. So that's 40 quarts. So that's about 6.6 quarts per bottle of flush. This bad boy is 15 quarts. So yeah, 2 bottles of flush is definitely necessary for 15 quarts. Wow, beautiful. Beautiful. Let's come from this angle. So it's just stringing out, and it kind of breaks it down and delaminates it. You'll see how it's really kind of almost like just dribbling. It's really interesting what the flush does. So that's pretty much it. We're gonna basically cork her up in a second. Good. So Steve is just cleaning up the filter housing. He's got it all dry, took off the rubbers. Just doing a little inspection. How's it look, Steve?
Everything's looking good. Just, you know,
awesome.
cleaning everything off.
Perfect. Gonna slap on the fresh filter. And then of course, the filter is just a standard cartridge filter, super easy. And it just goes right here. And that's it. Right.
So, the plunger thing I was talking about, it is right there.
All right.
I'll try and poke it for you.
Right there. All right.
There.
Got it. All right. That little teeny plunger.
Yep. So it's very important to either use OEM filters or good quality oil filters.
All right.
Because the aftermarket filters sometimes aren't built exactly the same.
All right.
And so over time, what they'll do is they'll start to let this little plunger come up. And if it does, you start, instead of building oil pressure, you're putting oil back into the oil pan, which then you're not building oil pressure, your engine's not starting, so on and so forth. If you ever have a question about building oil pressure, like if your low oil pressure pump is actually working,
all right,
you take the oil filter out, take a screwdriver, preferably a bit longer, push down on the valve like this, have someone crank on the engine for about, I think it's like 15 seconds.
All right.
And if the low oil pressure pump is working, this housing will fill up full of oil.
All right, perfect. Awesome. It's that time to feel her up. Steve's gonna go ahead and start pouring in the liquid gold. And that's right, we're putting in Max Duty AMSOIL Signature Series. This is good for super severe service, so towing, plowing snow. And Steve's got his fingers in the honey jar already. He's just testing it out. He's schmott. Don't just pour it in, you know, always double check it. And now the liquid gold's going in. And now we're gonna go ahead and bring you in a little closer, get in the action, and I'll talk a little bit about how this oil is different. So, the differences are, you have significantly less wear on your pistons and cams compared to OEM. Also 6 times more wear protection. It's 100% synthetic, so the film strength is a lot stronger. And he's putting in 15 quarts. So that's the most oil we've ever put in any truck on the channel. So this 6.0 really takes 15 quarts. And they actually show the cylinder sleeve scuff test right here in the back, the differences. And this is good for 2 times OEM. So I'll show you that. So here's your intervals here. You got on heavy duty over the road trucks, you got 3 times OEM, not to exceed 60,000. On gasoline engines, 2 times OEM, and the gas engines are 15,000 or 1 year. So basically, if you put this in here, you're basically good for about 15,000 miles of towing and plowing snow, and you're not going to burn off as much oil compared to OEM oil. You're burn off a little bit less than half, and you don't have to top off as much and add this oil. And then there's also a lot less parasitic drag on the crankcase. On inside the crank, the oil actually flows smoother, and there's less resistance with this oil. Because it's 100% synthetic, there's less friction, and also the molecules are a lot more stable. So under high heat, you get the extra turbocharger protection. I believe 66% more turbo cleanliness compared to OEM. So your turbo won't coke as easy. You know, a lot of diesel guys, they don't like to shut off their diesel engine because you get this turbo coking, and you know, they just don't want to do it. But when you're running this, you clean up, you clean all the carbon out with the flush. Now you got the 100% synthetic in. You don't have to worry about it.
Right, yeah. So just try to.
All right, I'm passing the last bottle of gold to Steve. It's like passing the torch in an Olympic race. Here it is, Steve.
Thank you.
Yes. Yes.
Alrighty.
And here we got a little information on bypass filters. Here is a little info on the bypass filter right here, which is another upgrade. And then these are all the fuel additives. And then here is the protection for semis. So 6 times more engine protection. And you also have your test here. Our first dipstick check. Steve's gonna stick it in. Let's do it. All the way down. Shaboo-boo. Right. And all the way out. Let's see what it looks like. Let's take a look.
Right there at max.
Beautiful. Wow. Looks really good. Right, we're gonna go drive her around the block, but I gotta give you a walk around to hear this thing. It's just ridiculous. All right, let's go drive it. Whew. Look at these seats, like brand new. Steve got a brand new, what, 13, 15-year-old truck?
Yeah.
Like mint condition. Not a scratch in the bed. Whew. So if you're new to the channel, we did a engine flush on Steve's 7.3, what was it, 96, 97?
97.
97. And see if we can turn down the fan a little bit so it's not quite as loud. Just the fan speed. Awesome. Wow. Seats are nice.
Yeah.
I love the tan interior too.
Oh yeah.
It's killer.
Thank you.
Killer. So yeah, we're headed towards Boulder Highway here. And wow. So right here we got the Welcome to Las Vegas sign. Pretty cool. And then we're getting ready to turn right, and that's towards Henderson and Boulder City. So that's that direction. And today it's, God, what is it, about 100, 103 today, something like that?
Yeah. It's a little warm. But we got a nice little breeze, and
yeah. All right, we're gonna hear what this thing sounds like. What's the difference, Steve?
The difference would be that it's a lot smoother, a lot quieter, and planning on getting more fuel mileage.
Awesome. All right, we're gonna go do the radiator coolant right now, and we're gonna put that link right up in the corner. We'll have that little icon if you want to watch that video, and really appreciate you checking out the video. Beautiful. Oh my God. So smooth. So we're headed back to Express Lube and Auto Repair. Right here on Boulder Highway, Tropicana. That's the sweet spot right there. And I think we popped the bottle.
Yeah.
We popped the bottle. All right, and one more thing. Diesel Steve is now an AMSOIL dealer. So if you have any questions about diesels or anything, I'm going to actually put Steve's link in the link description below. So if you want to try AMSOIL, he'll get the credit for it. And we'll also throw his contact information. So if you have any questions about what it feels like, what it does, you can reach out to Steve. Steve's got how many years experience?
14.
All right, so he does diesels in his sleep. All right, so we're going to do the coolant right now. Thanks for checking it out. All right, we'll see you back next time on Synthetic Oil Protection. Cheers to protection, protection, protection.
Absolutely.